Hey, pack leaders here with friends Rhino, protecting family, protecting pack. I want to do another video for how to wind up your weed whacker for the Greenworks Pro, Greenworks whatever. Apparently I had a video that I didn't really review, and you can't really see how I started it. So let's go ahead and kind of take this apart. This is the .155. It's really big. It's not actually rated for it, but if you actually grab one of these from Home Depot, it does a really good job of whacking stuff. So let's show you here. And if I can find it on Amazon, I'll put in a link below. But you can get 100 feet of this for like 15 bucks, and it really does a number. But it's a little tricky. .155 is actually for one of those machines that you push that has a whacker in front. But let's go ahead and show you how I do it with the smaller one, and then we'll do the bigger one, okay? Or maybe I could show the bigger one first as I unwind it. Okay, so you push these buttons on the side to pull it off. Alright, there's these little grooves here. You kind of push it in on both sides, pop them out. And you're going to get this little spool here, okay? Now with this spool, I wind it the same way I do the smaller ones. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off and kind of show you what I did inside here. So let's go ahead and take that all off. Alright, so with this, because it's so thick, you're going to have to cut it in a way where you kind of anticipate that one side's going to be longer than the other. About maybe 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches. I got my kids in the background. And you want to cut it like maybe halfway so you kind of see this little mark there. Alright, you don't want to cut it all the way through, just cut it, you know, a half. And you can do it with this bigger one, okay? But you're going to wind it the same way I'm going to show you with the smaller one, okay? So you can see here that it says there's the winding direction, and the arrow is right there. The arrow says wind that direction, okay? So in there you'll see that there's these grooves right here. So we're going to go in that direction, and I'm going to kind of go with that bend and put it right where that groove is. You can see it. Maybe there's a light behind there that I want to block. Hopefully that's better. You see how that I have my cut right there, and there's this groove. So we're going to put it right on that groove. That's there. I'm going to slip it right there. Okay, and kind of insert into those notches. Okay. And then you just proceed to wrap in that direction of the arrow. Like so. Okay. Wrapping it around, and you're going to see that. Whoa, buddy, it's too loud. Sorry for y'all back home. But if you have kids, you know what I'm dealing it with. See, as you wrap it, you see where that where you started it was right here. There it goes. You got started it right there, and then we're just wrapping it around. So we're gonna go like that. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it around, and it's a little difficult with the bigger one because it keeps popping out, so you want to put your finger there. So I'm gonna block it a little bit. Wrap it in that direction. Okay, until you can kind of go over it. Now that it's kind of inside, then the rest of the cables can then wrap into it. Okay. All right, so now that it's in, you're gonna have to kind of anticipate the length of that, and since it's so thick, you have to pre-insert it, but you don't have to do it with the smaller one, okay? So I'm gonna pre-insert this into here, into this little ring here, because you can kind of see where things are in. So I'm going to pre-insert that in. Okay, well actually make sure the nub is on the whole side, so you can kind of get it in there. You get that in there. Okay, I'm gonna put it into that nub. Pull it all the way through. Make sure those notches, and sometimes it pops out, and it trying to shimmy it back in. And then same thing with the other side. I'm gonna try to. It's already in, but I'm gonna try to slip it in so that I can fit. And I usually use about maybe I don't know, a good foot to 2 feet of this. This is my older one, so it's already kind of all tore up. And then once it's all in, then you're kind of good to go, and then you kind of snap it back into the mower, and you should be good to go. Okay, make sure you line up with the notches right there. Slide them back in, and then you're good to go. Okay, so that's how you do it with the .155. It's a little thick, but man, it sure tears it all up pretty good, and you don't have to go through so much string. Thing about that is that you can't really use the bump because it's so stiff in there. So whatever you put in is whatever's gonna use. So even though it's like extra long with the extra, you know, 1.5 to 2 feet, just let it go. It'll actually use itself up, and if anything, it'll actually kind of get caught in here, which is actually a good way for it to kind of stay in place and not move. So I just let it go and just kind of let it be, and eventually it'll trim itself down to something like shorter that's manageable. Okay, now let's go ahead and try it again with the smaller string, which is easier. And I'm going to use the smaller string, which will then be a little easier. Alright, so since I only have this, I use the big one now. I found this spare one lying around somewhere. So you kind of just imagine it was really long, and you want to make sure that you have about a good 2-3 inches at the end to kind of anticipate how it's gonna wrap, like that. And then we're gonna kind of make a little loop, put that in the notch right there, right? And then the direction is, go here. There we go. There's a notch right there, right? See? Put it right there in the notch, and then just wrap in that direction of the arrow. All right, and you just keep winding to use up all your line, and then once you're up to your line, then you go ahead and stick it right in here and pull into those guides. So I'm gonna put one on one side, push that in, and then get the other side, put it through the other end. All right, so let's see. There he goes. And then you're good to go. Then this is all locked in a sense. Now you can then snap it into your thing and you're good to go. Oh, you kind of retract it because it's short. But then as it spins, you can then bump this thing and it'll disengage and let more line out and spool it out as you go. Alright, well there you go. Hopefully this video is a little bit better visually. Sound wise, I know the kids are in the background. But I do what we can do with kids and just get this video out. Otherwise we had no videos out. So something's better than nothing, I hope. Thanks for watching.